God of War Ragnarok is just a sequel, is what a lot of people were saying before the game came out. We all remember people moaning about reused boat animations, how the game looks the same, blah blah blah. But if you play the game, you will realize this is one of the highest quality games ever made. And that's coming from someone who enjoyed God of War 2018, but I wouldn't say I absolutely loved it. To preface all this, I think this conversation wouldn't be happening if Ragnarok came out when it originally planned in 2021. That would be a 3-year dev cycle, and people would understand you can only do so much in 3 years. But since there was an extra year, people's expectations would change. But I got a review code for Ragnarok off Sony from GameXplain, and I've put nearly 35 hours into it, and I'm here to tell you that yes, this game is just a sequel, but it is one of the best sequels ever made. To put it into a food analogy, 2018 was a nice plain burger with a lovely bun. But Ragnarok is that same delicious burger with some nice sauce, pickles and onions on it. God of War Ragnarok does 3 things absolutely masterfully, but it still falls short on certain aspects that plagued the first game. But it's how it seamlessly blends these 3 aspects that make it an absolutely amazing game. So let's begin with the combat, as this is a gameplay first channel. Fighting is so fecking satisfying. Throwing your axe, retrieving it, imbuing it with ice, then slashing enemies and freezing them, whipping out the blades of chaos and then ripping them to shreds will never get old. I think it's a perfect mixture of spectacle fighters like the old God of War and Devil May Cry, and the newer Souls like dodge, block, parry style. But where it shines is its upgrade system. You get XP from killing enemies and doing side quests, and this can be used to buy new skills of course, and there is a crazy amount of skills to choose from. Just look at early game combat to mid game combat. I'm not showing anything end game to avoid spoilers, but just trust me, it gets way better. And the amount of skills isn't even the best part. It's leveling up their skills that create an extremely satisfying loop. Each skill has a counter, so there are bronze, silver and gold levels to reach for each, and you unlock them by using them a certain amount of times. The best part is once you complete the gold challenge, you can spend XP to upgrade the skill, improving a certain aspect of it. Some you can increase its stun build up, others the damage it causes, or how quickly it inflicts the elemental damage. And it actually gives a good bit of build diversity. I built Kratos into an absolute elemental monster that just constantly froze and burned people. And then the gear upgrade system comes into play, and with this I built my weapons so that they deal extra damage when the other weapon's element was inflicted. So I would freeze an enemy and then change to the Blades of Chaos, and then the Blades of Chaos would deal increased damage. The second aspect of Ragnarok that make it so compelling is the exploration. They make every single little part rewarding, and I just loved running around all these gorgeous realms and finding chests, side quests, challenges. The list just goes on, and there's so much to do. And these offer plenty of fun in their own right, but getting the XP and the upgrade materials from exploring turn Kratos into an absolute killing machine. I wouldn't call Ragnarok an open world, but the issue with these more open worlds is that they litter the map with icons. Instead, Ragnarok lays these places out very clearly with a shore to dock your boat, so you'll know exactly where the fun stuff is. And all the while you're being fed this masterful writing and interactions between characters, so even the dull moments are filled to the brim with character. Final great part about exploration is that the game tells you when you are doing side content or when you're doing main content. Look, we've all been in a situation where we want to explore everything, and we have 3 paths to choose. One is the main path, but we don't know which one is which. But what Ragnarok does is it sends your companion down the main path, or they might say, hey, look at this, so you know this is where to go to progress the story. And more games need this. I love this feature. And the final great thing that this game does is the story. From the get-go, it got its hooks into me, and it's due to 2 things: the writing and the static camera in cutscenes. There was something about Kratos' trepidation as a father in 2018 that made him likeable. I can't put my finger on it, but it was like he was afraid to feck up with Atreus, so he just removed himself from all the emotional parts of being a father. But in Ragnarok, you can see how far he has come. He is now actually interacting with Atreus more like a normal dad would. He's listening to him rather than only leading, and it makes the payoff to the big father-son moments even better. And look, bromances get to me, so the bromance between Kratos, Mimir and Atreus is just one of the best in games ever. Not only is the writing great when it's serious, they really know when to marvel it up and sprinkle in some humour. I gave up watching Marvel ages ago, and I didn't know why, because I can't articulate my points about movies as well as I can with games. But it was because of the writing. There was too much of this humour injected into serious situations with these stupid quips, but Ragnarok gets the balance perfect. I don't want to spoil any of these moments, but specifically Brock, Sindri and Mimir add some much needed comedy to this dire story. And to top it all off, it shows the development in all the characters' relationships when they slag off Kratos. There's something simply funny about slagging this absolute monster of a man and getting away with it. Now, there are a few parts that God of War Ragnarok just falls flat on, and they're similar to what 2018 fell flat on too. The menus in Ragnarok aren't good. At first, I didn't think they were bad. But, and this is a big but, I put 35 hours into the game, and even at the end, I still had to think about what buttons to press when navigating the menus. I would press R2 when I actually had to press R1, and it should feel like second nature after that long. Another problem is the map, and this only reared its head after I beat the game. Navigating it can be a bit tricky from time to time, and I hit a certain road bump trying to finish an endgame side quest as it wasn't obvious where to go. And to wrap all this UI up, another issue is the compass. It doesn't have a clue about what to do when you're close to your objective and just starts moving like a madman. The stats aren't explained very well either. After 35 hours with the game, there are descriptions for gear that simply make no sense to me. I built Kratos a certain way, but even at that, I felt a lot of it was guesswork as it wasn't always obvious what the stats did. Like, what does Runic do? Does that increase my rune damage? And what exactly does luck do? To my knowledge, you can't do crit damage, but maybe it increases your chances of dropping health and rage stones during combat. But once again, I'm just kind of guessing. Fast travel is much improved from that terrible system in 2018, but still, they fall flat on the simple details. At the end of the day, God of War Ragnarok is a masterpiece, but it's the little things in the UI and menus that just make no sense to me how they didn't get it right. So there we have my review for God of War Ragnarok. It's definitely a contender for my top game of the year. Elden Ring is the only one that competes with it, but I think Elden Ring might just creep it out. So if you want to see a game that 100% definitely isn't on my game of the year list, check out this video. I believe it's here. If I have it, it's either here or here. It's Ghostwire Tokyo, by the way, but it's a good video, so watch it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Join the Discord down below. I really appreciate your time, and I'll see you all on the next video.